Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the third part of this week's series, episode, whatever, who cares?
28.
28, number 28, the great old 28. Who's that?
The girl, the sister from Arrow, Thea.
Thea.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Nah.
So apparently Pete's a high school boy.
No, she's not that young. Check her out.
No, only high school boys have TV characters on their fucking phone. That's what I'm at.
Hey, I had AJ Lee for the longest time.
Anyway, welcome back. First, before we get started with anything, let me introduce to my far left, I have the greatest Zelda fan in the world. You don't believe me? He has a tattoo of the Triforce on his arm. Ladies
on his leg?
On his leg. I don't know. It could be on his leg. I've never seen his leg.
It's just showing how all that jazz is going to work again this week.
Oh, it's going to fucking fail horribly. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Mr. Jeremy Bird.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
That was very anticlimactic.
I'm not doing the point because you made fun of me last time.
I love that. That's my favorite.
The biggest Zelda fan in the world coming at you once again.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, and Mr. I'm Wondering himself, to my direct left, it is Mr. Pete Anderson.
What's going on, guys? Let's have some fun today.
So fucking anticlimactic. I'm so fucking miserable now. I just want to cry. Anyway,
Stop crying.
I am the one with the best ponytail in the business.
Are you sure it's not fabulous?
Pete, would you do the honors, please? It's fabulous.
I want to just go like this. If you flap it, you flap.
I am Nicholas De Jesus. And today we are discussing, is it too late to go back? And by that, I mean, there have been, in my gaming universe, or in my gaming kind of hemisphere, if you want to call it that, there have been very distinct genres that I remember playing as a kid. Sonic and Mario were very distinct genres. They were platformers.
Yep.
Crash Bandicoot has its own form of being a platformer, but it was a distinct genre anyway.
GoldenEye.
You had GoldenEye. That was a first-person shooter. You had Battletoads. That was an action game.
Beat 'em ups.
That was, a beat 'em up.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie, which was a nice...
Collectathon.
Yeah. So you had these very distinct genres. And now everything's become so intermuddled and interwoven that really any game can encompass all genres. If you think about it, Call of Duty, jumping from platform to platform, makes it a platformer. But it's also a first-person shooter. It's an action RPG in some aspects when you play on multiplayer and you're prestiging. Then you have your strategy because... there's so many multitudes.
Destiny is probably the best reason for that.
Destiny is another one that it's a first-person shooter, an RPG, an MMO. It's got all these aspects that are combined into one. Battlefront seems like it's going to be another one that's just a multi-genre game.
Yep.
Even Final Fantasy is no longer an RPG per se. It's something else. It's
open world.
It's open world. It's got RPG aspects, but now it's much more hack and slasher than it used to be. So the question that I'm posing to the group and to the fans is it too late to go back to the fundamentals and really enjoy those games for the bare fundamentals? And I'm talking about AAA titles being this way. I'm not really talking about indies because we see that indies can be very successful as this singular genre.
Like Shovel Knight was a perfect example.
Shovel Knight.
Nice.
Like what's the game that you mentioned before?
Super Meat Boy?
Super Meat Boy is another one that it's got that classic.
Free on PlayStation Plus right now.
That's,
yeah.
They're very distinct games, and the indies are doing them, very well. But I would wonder if a major title came out, a AAA title came out, could it be
just one of those things?
One of those things. Not a creator mixed with a platformer, not
that was my
open
example.
RPG, not Dreams, whatever the fuck that is.
That game is going to die. Unless Media Molecule shows us more of Dreams, that thing is going to die.
I keep on saying it because I want it to come out. I want it to come out so I know what the fuck it is. I want Dreams to come out so that I know what the fuck it is, so I can see what the fuck it is. But they need to start releasing some more information on it.
On a sidebar, I have a question. And I
Yes.
think the fans are going to be curious as well. There has been a slight rumor that No Man's Sky might include VR. Would you be down for VR in No Man's
Yes,
Sky?
I would be down for VR. Here's what Pete's talking about. What Pete's talking about is that they've postponed No Man's Sky again, and the reason being is that they want to release it with the Oculus Rift, in conjunction with the Oculus Rift. Not necessarily like Guitar Hero releases with a guitar. They want to release it in conjunction with. So when Oculus Rift comes out, they want to release No Man's Sky to make it a full immersion experience. Because now you've got all this technology coming out where you get the vest that has the haptic feedback, and you've got the VR goggles with the Oculus Rift, and then No Man's Sky is supposed to be this fully immersive sci-fi thriller kind of game. So one of the things that they said was that the price tag is now the price of a full-fledged game. It's still going to be through the PlayStation Network, from what I understand, but they postponed the game not due to hiccups or technical technical stuff. It was more because they want to coincide it with Oculus Rift. And I think the selling point is if Hello Games works closely with Oculus, then they'll be able to launchpad the VR experience into something grandiose. So I think it's a good ploy. I think it's a good perspective, because when you want to go into VR, like I said before, you have to do it right. There has to be some aspect of doing it right. And I think that Hello Games might be the closest experience that we might get because of its full immersion into sci-fi, that maybe VR would work well with it. Am I going to do it in VR? Probably not. I'm not ready for VR quite yet.
8 months from now. Guys, this VR is awesome for No Man's Sky.
I just, look, here's the thing, all right? I have glasses, and I've always been told if I sit too close to the television, I will go blind.
Yep.
Now, all that light flashing in front of my eyes, like 4 inches away from my eyes, I'm just kind of paranoid about that, being that I already have bad vision. I don't know if that's going to be a good idea.
Will we judge you the same way?
I don't want to be blind while you're judging me.
So do you think it's too late to go back to the bare basics, sir?
I'll go with what I know. Legend of Zelda. It was originally pitched as shut the fuck up. It was pitched as an action game, but it was actually a puzzle game. If you really go back to the original Legend of Zelda, go into the different puzzles to get to the different doors in the dungeon. Nowadays, Legend of Zelda is more. It's still got that puzzle aspect with find the key. How do you get across this platform, whatever, but it has more of the action element into it, as saying crossing over genres. You'd have to be a real big heavy hitter of a AAA title to do it. Like, when you're talking about this title, I think you have to be more in the Nintendo genre to do it, personally. Because literally, like...
Well, you could talk about Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Oh, I was trying to think, was it the first or second? But yeah, I was going to say that, Tropical Freeze.
I mean, it went to a 2D platformer, and...
Yeah, 2D platform with 3D graphics, and... Didn't you hate that game?
I hated it, and then when the Club Nintendo was giving a free game, I had basically everything, and I was like, you know what? I could get this $20 game where I'm just like, eh. Or I could get this $50 game and just say, you know, I have Tropical Freeze. And I ended up picking up Tropical Freeze. And I enjoyed Tropical Freeze.
But it just wasn't worth the price tag, you're saying?
Then, now I'm like, if I give it a try, but the game was gorgeous, and it was fun. I think the later levels kind of frustrated me, so the beginning I'm like, oh, I remember this. Yeah. Like, especially with the rocket, that was,
Oh, God, that's not a fun level. But that actually is a really good point if you think about it, because that's a way to go back. They actually took the formula for Donkey Kong Country and brought it back into, winner right here on that one.
I've been winning a lot lately.
Yeah, no, literally, they took the Donkey Kong Country formula and brought it into the modern times.
Well, I think the closest that we've gotten to seeing a reimagining and a revitalization of the classic genres has been Little Big Planet. Now they kind of botched it in Part 3, where they started trying to create this open world aesthetic to the game, and it didn't quite work out so well.
I would know. I played it.
Yeah, it really didn't work out so well. But what was nice about Little Big Planet 1 and 2 was that you had a platformer that was doing different things, and it It didn't try to be a first-person shooter. It didn't try to be any of these other kind of video games. It was the creators that were allowed to, like the gamers that were allowed to create other things through the tools that were given to you. But really, the fundamental game in the campaign was just A to B, try to, avoid all the obstacles and solve the puzzles as you're going down the way. So it was really nice. I did like that somebody was trying to keep that platformer aesthetic or that genre alive. Now with the other ones, like, you don't really see anything that is strictly a first-person shooter anymore. You don't see anything like that is strictly a first-person shooter. It's always like leveling up or upgrading, which has RPG elements in it, as opposed to like an original Doom. Like, I would like to see Doom 4 come out, and it is a lot like the first Doom. It's very similar to the first Doom with very upgraded graphics and a more responsive, intuitive gameplay, but generally just point and shoot. And beat the hell out of, and because Doom would be a great title where you can keep it very simple, very gory, and very fun. Like Bulletstorm was another great title where it was a first-person shooter where they were trying to play around with the concept of first-person shooter, but strictly first-person shooter. It wasn't trying to be a hack and slasher. It wasn't trying to be a Skyrim. It was trying to be a first-person shooter with a twist. So I would like to see more titles like that.
Call me on this, but what do you think about Mario Party? Like, kind of like a board game-esque video game. It's like, I'm trying to say, like, you originally think you walk around the board, you try to collect stars, you always go past start. The newer ones, which I'm looking at you, Mario Party 10, you mother.
And Island Tour, I'm looking at you.
I didn't like that either. What the fuck happened there? But just, you think making a board game video game, they've kind of kept with the same concept as time goes on. They've tweaked it and changed shit around, but...
Well, yeah, that kind of goes back to, like, Monopoly being the only board game video game that you could play.
Yeah.
Like, they never made, besides chess and those kind of strategic games, like a straight throw the dice and play a board game, Monopoly was very, very popular on the computers and on
I remember playing
and all that stuff. So, I think Mario Party does very well in keeping with the genre of board game video games. But if you're going to play a game that is... based off of a board game, there's not really much you can do to play around with that concept. I don't think there is. I mean, somebody might think that there's a lot to do with that concept, and I would love to see somebody come up with something to merge that with a different aspect and turn it into a new multi-genre concept. That would be nice. But Mario Party does that where you have like the board game and then you go into like the challenges and you're versing each other. But I would like to see something that was more infused where during the board game it was more. I would like that, but I think Mario Party does the best it can in terms of keeping to the board game, but they still have to. My issue isn't necessarily the developers pulling it off. It's can the gamers appreciate it? Really, and that's what I mean by have we gone too far? Like, you got the game Horizon Until Dawn coming out, or is it Until Dawn?
Until Dawn.
Horizon something.
Our game of the year, you mean?
The E3, the one that came on E3, Horizon.
Hold on.
Oh man, why did I forget this title?
What did you
love
do?
This one.
That just shows you that Nintendo was indeed the runner-up.
This game was fucking phenomenal. I thought this game
Horizon Zero Dawn?
Horizon Zero Dawn. There we go. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, you got it.
Damn right.
Horizon Zero Dawn. I thought that game was a phenomenal looking game, but
it looks like
how much
has many elements.
It has so many elements. Like, you're gonna be able to upgrade stuff. You're gonna level up your character. You're gonna level up. You're gonna level up your contraptions and stuff like that. I can imagine. You're gonna power up your character. I mean, there's gonna be so many things going on in that game. It's an open world game, so now it becomes also a sandbox game. So that looks like a phenomenal game. And anything less than that, chances are I wouldn't really be interested in it. but I want to be interested in something that is less than that. I want something to shock me so much that it was so perfectly well done that I want to play that game, even though it is one aspect of what all the other developers are doing.
But it's just with the times. Look at Metal Gear Solid 5. The original Metal Gear, you snuck around and you shot, and you took over and you completed a story. This, you control your base, you can have people and go out on missions.
But you've also got tower defense in it.
Yeah, you got all these different elements in Metal Gear Solid 5, but that's just evolving with the time.
But I just...
Do you think that somebody could take Metal Gear, if Konami, when they work on a new Metal Gear, because they will, do you think they'll bring it back to the grassroots of the original just stealth? Or do you think that's lost forever now on that game?
I would like to see something that is based primarily on stealth. I would like... Because Metal Gear Solid 5, remember, you can run and gun in that game if you really want to. If you really want to, you can go into a base and just pop, 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 pop. Just take everybody out. Mm-hmm. You don't have to necessarily play stealth. It's better for you to play stealth, but you don't have to play stealth.
You got to get the S rank if you play stealth.
Yeah, to play... Well, not even. You don't necessarily... Well, yeah, actually you do. To get the S rank, you do have to play stealth. But...
I know more about it if I never even played the game.
Shut up, Pete.
But...
Well, another one for me. Nick, you're slipping.
But you can run and gun, and you can still get pretty high rankings by running and gunning, because the S rank coincides with your kills in a way. But if you get headshots for every kill, then you're actually you're pretty nasty. No, I think you can get an S rank if you do headshots. If you get headshots the entire time, your points will justify. If you don't die and you kill everybody, but it's all headshots, I think your points will justify an S rank. Because remember, the S rank is only based off of your points that you acquired in Metal Gear Solid 5. It's not necessarily based off of the way you play.
Well, I was going to say, going back to, the topic at hand, you think about Mega Man 9 and 10, which came out a couple of years ago. Those, 8-bit Mega Man games, they sold like wild.
Yeah.
There was still a market for huge Mega Man fans out there, even though Mighty Number 9 is going to come out and Mega Man's going to get laid to rest because...
Well, I was watching the fun. It was funny because we were talking about we were talking about milked games or something like that, like games that were used way too often. And then I saw something, and it was about Mega Man and how Mega Man is the most milked game. Because it has something like 36 titles associated with it.
It does. It has a...
Yeah, it has a massive, more than any other game ever created. And then it dawned on me, that's why we haven't seen a Metal Gear, a new Mega Man game. Is because they're tired of making them.
I was going to say, you're right, because you got the Mega Man Original Series, which is 10 games. You have X, which has 10. That's 20 games. You have the Legends games. You have... whatever the handheld games are, Battle Network, Star Force.
And then the collection coming back.
The collections, you have, there's one major I'm forgetting. Damn it, that's going to bother me.
Super Smash Brothers Melee. Super Smash Brothers Wii U.
Yeah, that made me... Yeah, no, you just have all these different... Wow, that is a fuck ton of games. I didn't even think about that.
There's a massive amount of Mega Man games out there. And it's a shocker because you don't think about it. But then suddenly you start to recount how many Mega Man games you've been playing. He's got a lot.
He's got 4 or 5 games on Game Boy, and he's got not on Game, but he's got all these. Anyway, God.
You know what's funny? I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they brought up a thing that you never think about, and then when you think about it, it makes you go, "Oh my God!"
What?
And it's there's you think, "Oh my God, there is a lot of Mega Man games." Think about this. How much have we spent on video games?
Yeah.
You don't think about it until that.
Yeah. Wow.
That will be a topic for down the road.
I did the other day.
You added all your stuff, everything you ever got.
No. I went to GameStop a week or two ago. I picked up 2 games, 3 games in an Amiibo set, and it cost me about $120. And I'm just like, wow, this shit gets expensive after a while.
Just think even this year you played. Think about it, 10 games, that's $600. But we'll have clearly a topic on that.
Yeah.
But I just thought about it. I was like...
Yeah. That's a good
don't think about it
point.
until...
You don't think about how much you've spent on a hobby until you actually start
and then
until somebody asks you.
And you're thinking, friggin' from PS4 for us, NES to PS4, Xbox One.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, mine's gonna be through the fucking.
Mine's gonna be more of all the consoles.
See, but the
that are
question
sitting
is,
there.
can you remember every single game that you ever played on the NES?
That's tough because I.
Yeah, I could.
Every single game?
Yeah.
Then you didn't play a lot of games on the NES.
I know. I could probably name you about 17 to 20 solid games.
On the NES?
Yes.
I'd like to hear that list one day.
One day.
We might do a series. We might do an offset of this show, I think, of each of us listing off our games, NES, and then the next generation up.
Oh my goodness.
That might be a nice.
I like that.
I think that might be a nice spin-off of this show.
Stay tuned for that.
That might. I don't know.
Pending. We'll talk about it next week in our business
We'll
meeting.
talk about it in our little business meetings. I think that would be nice to hear each of us.
Excited.
That'd be a nice one. I think so.
Yeah, my PlayStation 2 catalog is nuts.
I think that'd be nice to just sit down and talk about all the games that we played on each and every single console. Each of us individually, like a one-on-one, like with us and the camera.
Oh God.
You know what I'm talking about?
You're gonna be. It's gonna be like 8 hours with all this system.
Dude, it's gonna be fucking. But no, we'll do it in bits and pieces.
Okay.
Like this will be Jeremy's NES.
Part
then
1, Part
Pete's
2,
NES,
Part 21.
and Nick's NES experience. Like, I think we should do something like that.
Jesus
I like it.
Christ. I like that too.
That's a fucking great. I think that could like fucking. I think people might really dig that. Anyway, back to the fucking subject at hand. Are you guys ready to go back to the basics? Are we ready as gamers to take it back to the basics so that then we can really truly truly enjoy games that we have today? Because there's a lot of games that we have today that we could have never fucking imagined when we were first playing video games. When you were playing Sonic the Hedgehog, do you think anything like Call of Duty would exist?
No.
You know, or screw Call of Duty. When you were playing Sonic the Hedgehog, did you think that things were going to get to the point where you could play a game like Mario Sunshine?
No way.
Or even something like Star Wars Battlefront. That massive game where
Yeah.
you... Because
Well,
you have to
when
remember...
you were playing Doom, did you ever think that Star Wars Battlefront would come somewhere? When you started Ace Combat way back when, did you think that Battlefront would come out?
You have to think also, you're playing Mario, you're playing the old school Sonic. You're not thinking, hey, in 20 years, I'm going to be playing somebody halfway across the world in a first-person shooter game. Or
Yeah.
a
In 20
mess-
years, some little kid's gonna tell me he's had sex with my mother every day.
But the other part of it is how much do we appreciate games versus this generation that doesn't necessarily know those aspects. Like, to a lot of people in this generation that are playing video games now, like the 13-year-olds and 12-year-olds of the world, they look at the indie games as trash because it's not necessarily what appeals to them. That
Like
appeals to
Unravel.
us. But that appeals to us. Like Super Meat Boy appeals to us.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah, but it appeals to them too. It's just
I don't-
probably not as nostalgic as for us. Like Shovel Knight has been very well received for an older bunch because that was classic 16-bit type.
it's literally like playing
Stuff.
Mega Man.
Yeah, and
There is again.
like there it is. Like, and you have that moment where even people back in the day when they played the new Paper Mario or they played the new Super Mario game, you know, they know that it came from somewhere. And who doesn't like to pick up Super Mario World?
See, but I don't think any of the new people playing those games even think to play Super Mario World.
See, I would argue with
Very
that.
true, because I've said this again, time and time again. I've
Getting
tried to.
attacked.
No, it's not.
I
No,
know.
I'm not
But
gonna.
no, I remember Jeremy had said something about this where,
Yeah, my
where he
niece
was
and
talking
nephew-
to your niece.
Yeah, show my niece and nephew, like, I've showed them Majora's Mask, I've showed them, like, old school, like, NES games, Super Nintendo games, and my niece looks at the thing, she's like, it's cool, but it looks ugly. And I'm like, this is like a classic game. She goes, I don't want to play this. And I'm like, alright, what do you want to play? And she brings out her 3DS and starts playing. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well,
I think I think the time is now to reboot these games and update the graphics. Have Mario.
rare 30 for 30.
Well,
which we're gonna have lots of let's plays on.
that's nice, but I'm talking about even before that. I'm talking about the side scrollers that we always used to play.
I was saying
Metroid.
as an example.
Metroid when we first played Metroid. Re-envision that.
Play Super Metroid. Super Metroid's better.
You know,
Picture that on a
Sonic, like an updated Sonic that's just a side scroller.
Well, they did that with Sonic 4, Episode 1 and 2.
It wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good, but it brought it into the newer look, and same.
But
side-scrolling
I would
goodness.
say take it a step further where you recreate these levels and the appeal of these levels, because Sonic was a great game.
So
I would
you're
love
saying
to
bring back like
bring
the
back
casino
the
level.
exact like the exact
Ace
replica
chemicals.
the exact replica of Sonic into the new world that we live in now,
So
where
like
Sonic is
so you could say situationally, Sonic the Hedgehog for Wii U. We'll call it Sonic the Hedgehog for Wii U. Exact same game from start to finish. Just redo the whole game.
just polish the game up.
I
Just
like
polish
that.
the entire game.
I
up.
would do that.
Because and on the great part about it is that you could do all 3 games, Sonic 1, 2, and 3,
The Sonic
and
trilogies.
Sonic and Knuckles on one disc.
The Sonic quadrilogy.
Yeah.
There you
could-
go, Sega.
You could do that because that's essentially 5 games, right? You have Sonic, you have Sonic 2, you have Sonic 3,
And
and then you have Sonic Knuckles. Then you have Sonic and Knuckles 2, because that's Sonic 2 when you plug Sonic and Knuckles into
Oh yeah, yeah.
together.
Okay.
And then Sonic and Knuckles 3 when you plug Sonic 3 into the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge. So that's essentially 5 games that you could play.
And Robo Machine.
Dr. Bug's Mean Beat. Get the fuck out
Yeah,
of here.
that was good.
But I think it would be nice to update it where you can play through the levels as Sonic Tails or Knuckles, with all these
I'd like to see that.
the classic appeal of those games.
One request I would have is if you're gonna do that, keep the original music. I hate the
Redubbed.
not the redubs. I hate the Invincibility song, the new Invincibility song, and I hate the one from Sonic and Knuckles. I like the original from Sonic. That you all know that chant.
Yeah. So I
Sorry.
yeah. So I think that would be a great aesthetic to bring back to gaming.
To bring back the classic.
Yeah.
To bring back the classic, to bring back the appreciation for the classics. Because the only reason people don't want to play them is because they look bad. The new generation. The only reason they don't want to play
Wait a
them is
minute,
because they look
didn't
bad.
they release? Oh, that's what they did. Didn't they release Super Mario All Stars a couple of years ago? They remember Super Mario All Stars for Super Nintendo. It was Super Mario 1, 2, 3, and it was the Lost Levels all packaged into one game. Lost Levels was
But was it remastered?
Yeah, it wasn't remastered.
I don't think it was remastered. I'm talking about the Mario that
I
everybody.
thought they did. No, they
I'm talking about the Mario that everybody knows today. Inside of that game,
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like the way that Mario and Baby Mario look now, but inside of that game, so you see Baby Mario grab a mushroom and turn into Big Mario, and he goes through the levels that we played through as children, And I'm pretty sure that you're gonna see that in the Mario Maker, but it's not gonna look as good as if you take like Mega Man Hunter X, where they redid.
I actually really like that game. Mega Man
where
Maverick Hunter X.
Yeah, Maverick Hunter X, where they redid the entire fucking game so you could play it in a 3D landscape. I thought that was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, and you never got the damn sequels, which pissed me off.
Yeah, so that would have been that's the kind of concept I'm talking about, where they take all the technology that they have now and reimagine.
That's
those
funny because
games.
Sony does have a habit of doing that. Instead of they remaster older games and they put them on the handhelds, but when they do that, you get the nostalgic fans who have the handhelds and they're like, "Oh, I can play this again, awesome!" But yet they never
did it for the console.
No, not for the consoles. They never ever really sell a lot. That's the reason why they don't do it very often. Like they Nintendo redid Final Fantasy IV. They did a bunch of the other Final Fantasy games. If you remember from the PlayStation era, Medieval, they released on the PSP a couple of years ago, but that's the last thing you've ever seen of the Medieval series.
But my issue is that they don't do it on the consoles.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They don't bring it to
that's
the
what I'm trying to
consoles.
figure out. Why not drop it on the console? See,
Because if number one, more people have the consoles than the handhelds when
Yeah.
you're thinking of Sony PSP in America, at least. More people have the console than the handheld. So why not drop it on the console? Why not make my experience that much better on the console?
They did release, the Mega Man collection recently on the consoles.
But
But it's
again,
not
not remastered. That's what I'm talking about. Today's graphics and yesterday's game.
Sorry, I keep bringing. Not trying to one up you, but I'm just like I keep. No, it's not okay. I get what you're saying.
But today's graphics and yesterday's games, I want to see something like that.
What do you think of Nick's idea?
I like it a lot.
I think it's good.
I think there's a small population that's actually going to go for it.
Sega, we just made you $1 million in Sonic sales.
I feel like if Sega was to actually bring Sonic back and start from scratch, from the beginning, and redo all of the Sonic games in a 3D atmosphere, but not that you can maneuver 3D, but that the world is now 3-dimensional, I think that would be phenomenal. You know, and then they can go from there and kind of build off of that, where now you're interchanging in different planes and you're playing around with the concept of when he goes through something, he can go to the backdrop and start racing through the backdrop. But first start with the original concept and relearn where your roots are.
Sega, we just made you $6 million. Give us a new Genesis.
I'm serious. I think if Sega did that, they would actually have a fighting chance at revitalizing it and then bringing back their own console into the console wars.
I would like to see that.
That'd be nice. I think that would be nice. Sega, revitalize Sonic, remake the old games in today's current technology.
Please.
And what do you guys think? What do you think should be done? Do you agree with Nick, or do you think, you can't go back to the past? The past is the past.
Could be. I don't know. But you know what I hear?
What do you hear, Nick?
I hear a lot of jazz playing. As always, thank you so much for watching our show. Please like the video below. Subscribe to the channel. I think it's below again. I think it's like here. Here is subscribe, and over there is like.
That's my dick.
Well, you better like that.
And this is to get to the next video.
And this is to get to the next video. Should be somewhere around here, actually. We're terrible. Anyway, you can always follow us on Twitter. I am Profcott. That is Improv Pete. And that is Jimmy Poison 450. You can always follow us on Instagram at improv_gaming. The same thing for Twitter at improv_gaming. You can also check out our Twitch. We each have an individual channel that we do. I do at ImprovCot. He does at ImprovPete. Nope, at ImprovCap. Sorry. And Jeremy does at IPGJBird. You can also email us at improvgamers@gmail.com. And
like us on Facebook at Improv Gaming, space between the two words.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Your most favorite thing. I can't believe I forgot that.
And Jeremy's favorite thing, I love what he says about YouTube, is how could they see all the content and more?
Oh, yeah, you can like, subscribe, and comment to our YouTube channel, and then you can always hit the notification button so when our new videos come out, they show up on your phone. Or your mobile device, excuse me.
Or iPad, any
Whatever.
tablet.
Anything you're carrying in your pocket, really, except for a Switchblade.
Look forward to these sports Let's Plays next week. Me and Dan go in a best of 3 in NHL, and we go back to our rivalry in Madden, where it is me as the Patriots versus him as the Denver Broncos.
Should be fun.
We'll be having that on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Like I said, guys, we also got Halloween stuff coming up in about 2 weeks.
Me and this guy are going to play until dawn. Probably a good hour.
Yeah, should be a good, decent hour.
Like I said, I'll bring you more of Evil Within and Limbo. I'll finish up. I'm halfway through the game, and I owe that to you fans.
I think we should do this for next week's episode.
Yeah, maybe.
2 weeks.
Why not? I'll think about it.
I'll just go as a fabulous ponytail.
And I'll just go as a big question mark because I'm Mr. Wondering.
I'll dress up as Link, you fuckers.
Well, we knew that already.
You were dressing up as Link whether you wanted to or not.
No!
No, we would make him dress up as Tingle.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
And as always, guys, game on. So sleep tight, little headless. I love that song. 'Cause when your daddy goes off, just you know.